welcome to the Irvin J. Nutter Center. It's Raider basketball here on Media One. Along with Toni Roesch, I'm Geoff Kim as the women's basketball team takes on the Lady Cardinals of Ball State. And Toni, both teams come in 2-7, so both teams have something to prove.
Well, they do, and certainly Ball State coming off of a tough loss against Cincinnati, an overtime loss, and certainly Wright State coming out of the tournament down at Stetson with a splitting and having a nice win over Stetson. They're coming in here and they want to prove something tonight.
And of course, they are led scoring-wise by Lenora Combs. Ever since she jumped into the starting lineup 5 games ago, she's been averaging 17 points per ball game.
Well, she's certainly doing some very good things. She's a very good athlete. She does a very good job rebounding. She moves extremely well, and certainly she's been effective scoring.
Talking about these Ball State Lady Cardinals, they've been on the wrong end of the score 7 of these last 9 games, but they've played some tough games.
Well, they have, and certainly you have Amy Kickbush, who's doing a very nice job inside, and she's scoring and averaging 24 points a game, leading the nation in scoring and doing very well and having a nice season, and certainly she's one to contend with.
It's Wright State and Ball State, and we'll have all the play-by-play coming up right here on Media One. Stick with us. And welcome to the Irvin J. Nutter Center. It's Ball State and Wright State, and we're getting ready to tip things up here over at the Nutter Center. It'll be the respective centers. Jess Vandergeest will tip things on off for Wright State. Here's the tip, and it'll go to Ball State, and we are underway. Out high on the perimeter, Mandy Holbrook, the starting point guard. Over to the far side, Marquita Griffin. Still looking. Now they go to Amy Kickbush. Cross-court pass. Now the dump down low on the block, and it's 2-0.
Nicole Pankington with a very nice turnaround jumper using the glass. Did a nice job.
2-0, and here's Mandy Jelinek at the point. Now over for Shanda Hollingsworth. Now on over for Jess Vandergeest. Up on high, Jelinek. Nine on the shot clock. And the dump down to Vandergeest. Low block, the kick out. Here's a shot for 3. It's wide. Volleyball match, loose ball. It's out on the floor, and it'll still remain a Wright State possession, last touched by Pilkington.
Well, Wright State doing a nice job being patient in their half-court offense, and a nice little in-and-out look from Jess Vandergeest out to Chanda.
The inbound will go to Shanda Hollingsworth. Reggen Stewart getting the touch on the ball. Over for Lenora Combs, also getting her first look. Wright State milking the clock just a bit. 12 on the shot clock and a kick ball.
Well, that's nice for Wright State. Nice little 30-second clock's going to be reset there. Have a little bit more time to work the offense, and this is a good thing. They're being very patient and looking for a high percentage shot. They're not looking to rush anything or force anything.
It goes back out to Jelinek. Now for Vandergeest on the near wing. Hollingsworth puts it on the floor, back for Vandergeest. Now they dump down low. Shot put up off glass. Lenora Combs, no good, and here come the Cardinals.
It was a nice little hook by Lenora Combs. She just didn't get it to fall.
One bounce pass inside, now the kick out. Here's Pilkington, 3, no good. And the loose ball goes to Vandergeest.
Wright State doing a good job looking to push the ball up the floor.
Reggen Stewart, yes, and we are tied at 2.
Oh, Reggen Stewart with a nice little baseline drive and did a nice job creating the angle and using the glass.
Cardinals back the other way. We are tied up. Pilkington over for Mandy Holbrook. They look dump down low. Kickbush up and in. Amy Kickbush averaging 24 points a ball game, makes it 4-2.
Well, Amy Kickbush doing a nice job once she received the ball, actually catching the ball one-handed and had a nice turnaround jumper.
Jelinek, Hollingsworth, now Vandergeest. Those are 3 of the starters. Now Lenora Combs and also Reggen Stewart are your 5 on the floor. This one intercepted on the bounce pass. Coming away with the loose ball, Marquita Griffin. Griffin looking for penetration. Baseline move, no good. Rebound, Jelinek.
Well, Griffin trying to take that against
Reggen hot to the basket and home. And we are tied at 4.
Yeah, Reggen, that's a nice little matchup between Reggen and Marquita Griffin. And Griffin didn't quite get the fall the last time down. And here Reggen turns around and goes down the court. Did a nice job in her transition.
Cross-court pass, a little slow. Defense catching up for Wright State. Now the kick out. Oh, wide open 3, no good. And the rebound to Lenora Combs. Reggen up in a hurry, looking baseline in traffic. It's on the floor in a jump ball situation. We didn't give you the starters for Ball State, and let's do so now. 00 is Nicole Pilkington. Number 12, Mandy Holbrook. Number 23, Shayla Crook. Number 31, Marquita Griffin. And number 42, Amy Kickbush. And Crook will check on out. And number 10, Shannon Copeland comes on in for the Lady Cardinals.
Copeland's been contributing, adding 4.5 points a game and actually shooting 40% from the floor.
Copeland to fix it out of bounds towards the bench of to Ball State. And it'll still remain a Raider possession.
Wright State, one of the things that they're going to look to do is they feel as though they can push the ball up the court. And it's one of the things, they have some decent speed and quickness, and they really can push the ball up the floor against a lot of teams.
Hollingsworth now for Reggen Stewart in the perimeter, looking to penetrate, pulls up and home. Reggen Stewart has accounted for all 6 points the Raiders have put up, and they lead it by 2.
Wright State doing a nice job of clearing out and actually getting a lot of room for Reggen to work on that opposite side.
The dump down to Kickbush. Now the give on the baseline, and Shannon Copeland scores, and we're tied back at 6.
Well, Amy Kickbush with a nice little feed right into Shannon Copeland as Shannon cut back door.
Reggen Stewart now over for Combs, behind the arc, open 3, and she'll leave it a little short, and the rebound, or the loose ball rather, to Kickbush.
Well, Combs, she's capable of hitting, though. She's shooting 27% from the three-point line.
And that's a bonus to have when your post player is doing that well. Holbrook looking to penetrate now. The dish out the other way. It's out of bounds, and Wright State will take over.
Mandy Holbrook getting a little too deep on the penetration and picking up her dribble before she really knew where she was going to throw it.
And we have an official timeout on the floor. So with 15:53 left to play in this first half, it's a tie ball game at 6, and we'll be back in just a moment. Six apiece here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center with 15:53 left to play in this first half. Talking about these Ball State Lady Cardinals, they played UC their last time out and lost in overtime 78-74, despite, oddly enough, Toni shooting 55% from the floor. It's unbelievable that you can lose and yet shoot that well.
Well, that's a little heartbreaking, and it's a little bit of disappointing at the same time, and certainly frustrating as well. You know, Ball State really playing very hard, and they have a nice team, some very good athletes, and you know, certainly we had talked about Amy Kickbush leading the nation in scoring, and as well as having a perimeter game to really complement her. It's a little frustrating, but at the same time you have to give credit to Cincinnati, because Cincinnati, they're fighting their way and out-rebounding Ball State by 14.
Janine Andrews in for Reggen Stewart the first time. The first substitution for Wright State. Jelinek, the pull-up from 16, no good. Rebound Andrews. Kick back, stick back, yes.
Janine Andrews really doing a nice job going in from that backside, coming down with the rebound, and did a nice job keeping the ball above her head and using the glass.
8-6, Raiders lead it, 15:22 left to play, first half. Baseline, they look for the pass, and it's intercepted by Vandergeest.
Wright State switching up the defense that time, going a little bit of zone.
Baseline, Jelinek, and no, wave off any thought of the basket, a foul. Foul is on number 23, Shayla Crook, her first, team's first.
A little hand check on Crook there, or Crook, excuse me, as Mandy was penetrating baseline.
The inbound comes way up high to Jelinek.
But that's a good thing for Mandy to do, is she can take that ball, and same thing as Shanda, if she can make that penetration, look to pick up some fouls.
A foul and a turnover, and we head the other way.
Looks like it was an offensive foul on Lenora Combs as she was posting up, and she tried to hold off Amy Kickbush a little bit too hard.
Team fouls are even at 1, and leading at the point is Shayla Crook. She's a 5'6" freshman out of Lansing, Michigan, just joined the starting lineup 2 games ago for Ball State. The kick out, and it's intercepted. Here's Shanda Hollingsworth. Control break, goes for Lenora Combs. Open 3, and it's a bit short. Fight for it on the floor. And we will head the other way.
Wright State really looking to push the ball up the court, making Ball State have to play some transition defense. And Lenora Combs was spotting up at the three-point line, and that's not a bad shot for her because she is capable of scoring, and she had everybody else in rebounding position. Janine Andrews doing a nice job getting down the floor and getting inside there in the middle of the key for the boards.
Combs takes a seat, and Reggen Stewart back into the ball game. Keeping her out around the arc. Marquita Griffin looking for penetration, nowhere to be found, and Reggen Stewart gets the rebound. Oh, nice move to the basket. No good, though. Janine Andrews, the rebound, stick back, and a traveling violation, wave off the basket, and we head the other way.
You got to give credit to Janine Andrews doing a very nice job getting down the floor. This is aggressive as I've seen her play on the boards and doing a nice job. That's what Wright State needs, be a little bit more aggressive on the boards, and so far they're doing a good job.
They go far side kick push, now the kick out. Crook with the ball, and finds Marquita Griffin. Back outside to Crook, head of the key. Now Griffin. Crook pulls up, 15, no good. And the rebound to Reggen Stewart, moving quickly up ahead, now holding up shop. Cross-court pass, Shanda Hollingsworth passes up the three. Stewart, Janine Andrews. Now for Shanda Hollingsworth on the near side, and a foul. And we will head back the other way, an offensive foul against Wright State.
Well, that's unfortunate because the defensive switch-up that Wright State has done in the past 4 possessions really has kind of hurt Ball State a little bit in that they've come up 4 possessions empty-handed. They had 3 turnovers and a missed shot. And they can look to keep the pressure up here a little bit in terms of their rotation defensively. It could give Ball State some problems before they actually adjust to it.
Mandy Holbrook back into the ball game for Ball State. The score is 8-6, Raiders by 2. Here's the pull-up at the free throw line, no good. It's on the floor, loose ball picked up by Ball State. Copeland, now over near side Marquita Griffin. Back the other way, this one headed out of bounds and kept alive. Now it's out of bounds. Nice effort there by Mandy Holbrook, but she got it on in to Shannon Copeland, and they, well, had stepped out of bounds.
Well, they did, and Ball State getting a shot off and getting the rebound. Wright State having a little bit of difficult time getting that box out, but Ball State, once again with another turnover. That's the 5th one.
Vandergeest up high, Janine Andrews. Finds Mandy Jelinek on the far wing. That's where they've been playing it. Gets a little pick and roll. Now the dump off to the baseline, Amber Williams. Now the kick back out to Jelinek.
Good decision by Amber Williams.
One bounce pass inside, deflected away, but Wright State should retain possession on this one. Combs back on in. Vandergeest will take a seat for the first time tonight.
Well, Wright State really doing a good job of adjusting to really working on the finer points. Some good decision making and doing a good job in terms of their shot selection.
Stewart for Combs. Inside the free throw line, no good. And the give back, Combs picks it up and goes to the hoop, no good.
But 2 good opportunities by Lenora, just she wasn't able to get the ball to fall.
Michelle Shaughnessy into this ball game for the first time. Now here's a shot for 3. It's a little strong, and we will head the other way. An offensive foul against Ball State.
Lenora Combs with a good contest on that shot over there by Mandy Holbrook, and Lenora doing a very good job getting over and get her hand in the face of Holbrook and kind of yelling at her and distracting her a little bit.
Jelinek sits. Wow, Shanda Hollingsworth comes back on in. She gets the ball, controlling at the point. Flanked by Amber Williams. Amber has it, now far side, Reggen Stewart. Team's leading ball scorer at 12 a game. Shanda looking at a 2-3 zone defense. Now Lenora Combs. Reggen Stewart penetrating, puts it up. No good, but a foul on the way to the hoop.
Well, Reggen doing a good job coming there right there at the high post once she received the ball, going in for the drive to the basket. And, Reggen's so effective. When she gets the ball around the elbow right there, doing a nice job. Looking to turn the corner, had her shoulder down, protecting the ball, did a good job drawing the foul.
Marquita Griffin guilty of the foul. Her first, and the first of 2 throws by Reggen Stewart, no good. Reggen shooting 61% from the charity stripe this season.
Well, you give Reggen any opportunity to work. She does a nice job because she has such a quick first step, and she's quick to get out and filling her lanes in transition.
1 of 2, and the Raiders lead at 9-6. A timeout on the floor with 11:51 left to go in this first half. Raiders by 3, and we'll be back in just a moment. Geoff Kim, Toni Roesch as the Raiders lead it by 3, 9-6. And Toni, neither team shooting particularly outstanding from the field tonight.
Well, Wright State shooting 33%. They're 4 for 12 from the field, and Ball State is shooting 30%, and they were 3 for 10 from the field. But but both teams getting some good looks at the basket. They're just not able to get the ball to fall. But Wright State, you really have to credit them because they're being very patient in half-court offense and really looking to take some high percentage shots and doing a good job of putting the ball on the floor, making some penetration, and certainly looking to draw the foul. And they've gone to the line twice, but or have had 2 free throws. But certainly they're looking to do a lot of the right things.
They look to dump down low and a jump ball. Nice defense by the Raiders. They caught Michelle Shaughnessy in a bit of a trap. However, Ball State will retain possession on alternates.
Well, Ball State having a tough time adjusting to the matchup zone against Wright State. And Wright State runs a very good matchup zone defense.
Here's the open 3. Marquita Griffin. No, a little too long. Loose ball picked up by Amber Williams. Williams from the give back. Shanda Hollingsworth keeps it way out on high. Combs back for Hollingsworth. Still look around, wants one of her teammates to help her out on the pick and roll. Now pulls up a 3, no good. A fight for it, and Ball State comes up with it with Mandy Holbrook. And do we have a foul, or was Holbrook out of bounds?
Well, it was good defense by Reggen Stewart, forcing Holbrook out of bounds on the sideline over there. Reggen Stewart doing a real good job of getting over and cutting off that sideline.
Raiders look to add to their 3-point advantage. So we have just over 11 minutes on the clock here in the first half. Williams on over for Combs. Hollingsworth, now they go high-low for Reggen Stewart and home. Nice play from the Raiders.
Reggen Stewart with a nice backdoor, and Shanda doing a good job of seeing her as she's cutting, and Reggen did a nice job of setting her player up.
Don't they call that read and recognition? Baseline, Marquita Griffin, and it's blocked away out of bounds.
Janine Andrews with a nice slide down, looking to help Reggen Stewart on the penetration. As you can see right there, Marquita putting her head down, looking to go baseline, and Janine sliding right down to get that help side defense, and did a nice job of contesting the shot and getting a block for herself.
Vandergeest back in the ball game for Janine Andrews. Ball comes out high to Shayla Crook, who comes on in for Marquita Griffin. Holbrook on the floor, now back up on high Copeland. Now back over for a running mate at guard, Mandy Holbrook. They run a 3-guard offense, these Cardinals do. Here's a shot for 3, it's a little wide. Loose ball tracked down by Crook. And a fresh 30 put up now by Ball State. Open 3, Crook, and it's a little long, and the rebound to Jess Vandergeest. Here's a 3 attempt, and it's no good. And the rebound by Michelle Shaughnessy.
Shanda coming down the court looking to pull up. She knew she had some players underneath for the rebounding. And she can shoot the 3. She's effective.
Copeland rebuffed on the baseline. The give out now. Copeland back on over for Amy Kickbush. Now the kick out. Way up high. Open 3. Knock it down. Mandy Holbrook with the tray, and it's 11-9.
Well, it's good ball movement by Wright State, and Mandy Holbrook parking herself on the wing over there. She's shooting 46% from the 3-point line.
Well, that, as they say, will get things done, and we have a whistle on the floor.
Amber Williams doing a good job of looking to make that cut through. As she was cutting through, she was able to draw the foul, and certainly they keep the pressure up, and they've got a lot of movement today in their offense, and that's what they need going up against some of these defenses. You stand and you wait on the passes, or you wait on the ball. You can't do that. You need to be able to create, and that's what they're looking to do this afternoon, doing some good things.
Foul is on Copeland. She leaves the ball game. Marquita Griffin back in for Ball State. Jelinek now for Amber Williams. Back over far side, Jess Vandergeest. Puts it on the floor, fakes baseline, and they'll keep it back outside. Jelinek back for Williams, puts it on the floor, penetrates to the hoop, no good, a little too short. The volleyball match comes down to Kickbush for Ball State.
Amber Williams with the penetration, not a bad idea, but you had Reggen Stewart, who was really posting up and didn't receive the ball.
Holbrook's three, a little short. Loose ball, and Ball State gets another opportunity and convert, and we're tied at 11.
Ball State keeping the ball alive and did a nice job of finishing right there. And the ball was kind of tapped around a little bit.
Williams double teamed, and now I'll give it back for Jelinek. And we have a Ball State player out on the floor, down.
I'm not real sure.
It looks like Marquita Griffin.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what she did. She, I don't know if it's her knee or her ankle, but she went down kind of hard. She's certainly favoring that one leg. It looks like her left leg.
Not looking too good right at this point. She had come out of the ball game initially on the first time, and she looked like she was a little tired, or they were taking care of her just a bit on the sideline. As the head coach, Robin Marquis, comes on out. Wants to see how things are with her player.
Looks like it might be an ankle, but I certainly don't want to guess at this point, but I know she looks to be in some pain.
Well, it's never good to see anybody down in what amounts to be a 7-point stance. And of course that means, you know, your feet, your knees, your hands, and of course your head. Now she's getting up.
Certainly she's one of their key players. She's averaging 18 points a game and shooting 41% from the field, and pretty effective from the line, shooting 61%, but she's coming down with 6 rebounds. She's a nice player.
Hollingsworth will come back into the ball game for Wright State. In fact, we'll reset to 5. It's Hollingsworth, Stewart, Jelinek, Vandergeest, and Combs as we resume action, and the inbound goes to Vandergeest. 12 on the shot clock.
Jess Vandergeest a little quiet tonight. I'm not sure she's even really touched the ball. She hasn't put the ball up one time yet.
Pull-up goes out wild, and Crook comes up with the loose ball and a foul on the floor.
Well, just trying to get her hands on the ball, and you know, she the ball really hasn't been bouncing her way because she's so effective on the glass. You can see off the loose ball there, off the rebound, just going in, trying to get the ball and doing a good job going down on the floor, and unfortunately getting caught for the reach.
Jess guilty of her first. Bringing it up is Mandy Holbrook, now going over near side. Shot put up on the block, no good. Lenora Combs, the rebound.
Well, Michelle O'Shaughnessy putting that ball up, and Lenora Combs doing a nice job with the box out, coming down with the rebound.
Intercepted by Kickbush, now intercepted back by Jelinek.
Reggen Stewart with those quick hands coming in from behind and knocking the ball out.
Jelinek with 20 on the shot clock. Vandergeest now the dump down. Here's Lenora Combs on the high post and home, and we break the tie. It's now 13-11.
Yeah, Lenora doing a nice job cutting from the backside block up to the elbow, and she knew the defense wasn't on her back, turned, squared, and put the ball up.
They were looking down for Kickbush. It's out of bounds, and he will head the other way.
Ball State's trying to say the ball was tipped, and looks like the trail official, he was able to have a little bit different angle on it.
That is the case there as Letitia Tucker comes on in for the first time for Michelle Shaughnessy, but not before we have a timeout on the floor with 7:32 left to play in the first half. Raiders by 2, and we'll be back in just a moment. 13-11 in favor of Wright State here at the Nutters Center, as Wright State trying to improve upon their 2-7 record. And doing so right now, fairly even Steven. They've not exactly shot well from the field, but neither has Ball State, shooting just about 26%.
Yeah, and they're certainly keeping Amy Kickbush a little bit quiet. Amy only having 2 points. She's 1 for 2 from the field, and she's come down with 3 rebounds. But certainly if you can keep her contained, the better off you're going to be.
The one bright spot in this ball game, Reggen Stewart, 4 for 4 from the field. 9 points altogether for Reggen. And the inbound will come up high and taken away. Mandy Jelinek to the hoop, all by herself at home.
Mandy Jelinek doing an excellent job shooting up in the passing lane, getting the steal from Letitia Tucker. Letitia just kind of sat back and didn't move to the ball. Mandy did an excellent job.
15-11 and a foul out on court. And we will head the other way. An offensive foul, actually rather a traveling violation.
Well, Wright State doing an outstanding job of doubling down in on the post and causing the travel.
Jelinek forced out of bounds.
Well, Mandy doing a good job. She wasn't able to split the defense, so she decided to take the baseline, and she was able to draw the foul from Mandy Holbrook. Wright State looking to control the tempo a little bit here. They're doing a good job. They're up by 4 and doing a good job of pushing the ball up the court when they have it and setting it up when they don't, really looking to execute.
Here's the pull-up. Vandergeest, yes, all net, and it's 17-11.
Great decision by Jess Vandergeest. It's her first shot, doing a nice job stopping and popping right around about 10 feet or so and just inside the key there and doing a good job.
Here's a shot for 3. Crook, no, leaves it long, and the loose ball goes to Shanda Hollingsworth. And she has it picked away by Crook. Low block, puts it up, no good, and the rebound, Lenora Combs.
Well, Lenora Combs did an excellent job coming back and looking to come down with that rebound because she was already down the court.
6:27 left on the game clock here in the first half. Vandergeest again, yes.
There she goes, did a nice job. She turned and squared up, looked to see what she had, what options she had. Defense was playing off of her a little bit. Good decision in pulling up for a shot.
Junior out of Merrill, Wisconsin, averaging 10 a ball game, has 4, the last 4, in fact, for Wright State. Holbrook, and the feed off to Crook. Back upstairs for Holbrook. Downstairs, and it's taken away. Reggen Stewart comes up with it.
Wright State doing an outstanding job staying in the passing lanes out of this matchup defense.
And a hand check, a foul on Letitia Tucker.
Just once again, when she received the ball, squared up, looked at the court. She had an opportunity to look to make a little bit of penetration, going down the left side and drawing the foul.
Janine Andrews will come back on into this ball game, and Carrie Bender will see her first action of the night for Wright State, as Combs and Jelinek will step away.
Carrie Bender, she's been contributing very well coming in off the bench. She's a nice little role player, does what she needs to do, doesn't play outside of her means, and really contributes. She can score effectively from the three-point line as well as make some penetration, and she's a good defensive player as well.
Pilkington also back on in for Ball State. Bender with the ball. As it poked away, now regains it. Andrews over for Shanda Hollingsworth. Back upstairs for Vandergeest, takes it to the hoop, no good, and the rebound downstairs, Letitia Tucker.
Well, just looking to make the penetration, and Ball State really did a good job of sliding over and giving some help defense, taking the lane away.
They keep it around the arc, Ball State does. Here's Griffith, baseline, and a foul. They're going to get Vandergeest on this one.
Well, certainly Marquita Griffin doing a good job of putting her head down, looking to make the penetration. As you can see, the ball goes from the top of the key right down to Griffin, and Griffin, nice little fake, puts her head down, looking to turn the corner, and Jess was just a little step behind.
Vandergeest guilty of her second foul, as we have a little timeout out on court. Just a little 20-second timeout here for Wright State. And talking about these Raiders, they come into this ball game 2-7. They lost their last time out on the road. Actually, it was the finale of the Stetson tournament to Louisville, 89-56. Shanda Hollingsworth and Jess Vandergeest each had 14 points in that one. But really, the story tonight has been Reggen Stewart. And even though she's not exactly been sparkling from the field on the season, shooting 34%, well, she's 4 for 4 tonight.
Yeah, she's had the lid on the basket for herself over the past few games, and it's about time the ball really started falling for her, because she was really taking some good shots, good decisions on her shot selection. And, there were quite a few times where I know she had to get a little frustrated and thinking that there was a lid on the basket, but she's come out of that today.
Steal, and Wright State comes away with it. Nice defense by Reggen Stewart, who instigated that. Combs in action, on the move, back up high. Shanda Hollingsworth, now Carrie Bender. Bender with it now. 10 on the shot clock. Double team the kick out. Reggen Stewart looking baseline, pulls it up, and no good. Janine Andrews the rebound, stick back attempt, and it's taken away. Nicole Pilkington.
Well, Janine doing a good job getting in there for the offensive boards, and she came down with it. It just pulled the ball down a little bit too much, but Ball State did a good job of looking to get their hand on the ball, and I think Janine might have thought that they got her on the arm.
Marquita Griffin, 3, and it's short. Loose ball. It's going out of bounds, and Wright State will take possession.
Well, Ball State putting the ball up quite a bit from the three-point line, and they're actually only shooting about 29% from there. And you know, certainly the more they put the ball up, the more of an advantage it is to Wright State, as long as they can limit them to one shot.
Hollingsworth up ahead for Reggen Stewart as they quickly break that press. Hollingsworth, 3, yes, knock it down.
Shandy, you could see it. She was looking, she was wide open, and she went to get there very quickly to get her feet set to pull up for that jumper.
First 3 of the night for Wright State, and a whistle out on court.
Well, Janine just a tad late getting behind, and you had Letitia Tucker posting up very hard, and Janine, knowing she wanted to get the steal, was just coming from behind and reaching a little bit too much as opposed to getting on the shoulder and looking to get the deflection.
Timeout on court with 3:47 left to play in this first half. It's the Raiders 22 and the Lady Cardinals 11. This is Raider Basketball on Media One. 22-11 in favor of Wright State. And Toni, it's been a while since we've seen a double-digit lead here at the Nutter Center.
Well, you really have to give hats off to Wright State. They're doing an excellent job of controlling the tempo of the game. Their shot selection is very good. They're doing a good job of looking to crash the boards. You know, and unfortunately, a couple times the ball's kind of bounced around a little bit, but they're inside in establishing position. And certainly, Janine Andrews is doing an outstanding job being aggressive on the boards and looking to establish herself right there in the middle of the key. At the same time, defensively, Wright State is doing a very good job with their matchup defense and really looking to take a lot of the passing lanes away for Ball State. Ball State not quite adjusting to this matchup defense.
And they've also done a great job denying the ball to Amy Kickbush, as we had mentioned, averaging 24 a ball game. Only 2 points so far in this first half. Marquita Griffin on the far wing. Back up on high for Holbrook. Now over this side for Crook. Back upstairs for Holbrook. Now the dish off, Griffin. And now for Letitia Tucker. Crook pulls it up, and this one nearly blocked away, but the feed underneath. Amy Kickbush, no good, and Wright State comes back on offense.
Two very good contests by Reggen and also Janine Andrews on those shots. Did a very good job at contesting the shot.
Bender with the ball. Putting it on the floor for Combs. Andrews. Her bounce pass is intercepted. Intercepted by Kickbush. Now Crook has it.
Well, that was the right idea because Reggen Stewart was posted up inside. Had a major mismatch against Marquita Griffin, and she's got about 4 inches on her. And Wright State can see her. She's trying to post up very hard, and they just haven't gotten her the ball.
Reach and foul against Marquita Griffin. In fact, on that last offensive set there, boy, a nice dribble drive penetration for her to get the deuce, but a foul on her. That's her second.
In the past few times down the floor, Reggen Stewart doing an outstanding job looking to post, and unfortunately, her teammates haven't seen her yet. You can tell they're looking, but not able to get the pass off, and that's where you got to fake a pass to make a pass. And you know, Janine looking to make the right pass. Unfortunately, it was a turnover, but right idea.
Janine shooting. Actually, she has yet to make a free throw this season, and still that is the case as the rebound goes to Letitia Tucker. Mandy Jelinek back in this ballgame, and also Carmen Mann into this ballgame for the first time for Wright State. And Janine Andrews comes down with the rebound.
Well, Janine contesting the shot, going straight up and not allowing Amy Kickbush to get her shoulder turned to get that shot off. Janine did an outstanding job.
Jelinek with the ball. Goes for Reggen Stewart, and wave off any thought of a basket. A foul on the way to the hoop.
Reggen Stewart cutting right up to that key from the, cutting right up to the elbow from that low block. And once she received the ball, she turned and went right to the basket, picking up the hand check.
Kelly Cooper, the foul, her first. Team's 8th. Front end and the bonus opportunity coming up for Reggen Stewart. Reggen shooting 61% from the charity stripe.
As you can see right there, Reggen made a real hard cut right up to the elbow, and right there, nice little fake, and she was able to draw the hand check there, but did a nice job. Real hard cut right up the lane.
Reggen gets them both. 11 points for her, 24-13, as we come up on 2 minutes left to play first half. Cooper on over far side. Marquita Griffin passes up the three, goes baseline, no good, and the rebound, Mandy Jelinek.
Carmen Mann did an outstanding job of not going for the ball fake and really looking to play good position defense.
Three attempt, knock it down. Shanda Hollingsworth, 6 points for her, both on trays, and it's 27-13.
Well, you can't give Shanda an opportunity to get her feet set on the three-point line because she's shooting 32% from there, but yeah, she can be extremely dangerous.
Shot put up, and yes.
Well, certainly anytime Amy Kickbush has the opportunity to turn over her left shoulder and going right, she's extremely effective. And as you can see, the pass inside from Marquita Griffin, inside Kickbush getting it on the move and doing a good job turning over that left shoulder and going up with her right hand. And if you can take that shoulder away and not allowing her to turn, it will cause her to have to come back over her right shoulder where she's not as comfortable.
So Kickbush gets the deuce, count the foul. It's against Janine Andrews, her first. She comes out of the ball game. Renata Springer takes her place, her first action of the ball game, and Kickbush to the line, shooting 82% from the charity stripe, and she will knock it home. Old-fashioned three. It's 27-16 with the $1:27 left to play. Hollingsworth up ahead. Carmen Mann. Go underneath for Reggen Stewart, and a traveling violation against Reggen.
Well, you know she wanted that one. She had a nice little cut right there into the key. Shannon did a nice job of getting her the ball, and unfortunately she moved her feet a little too quickly.
Holbrook, Mandy Holbrook will control at the point. Bears by 11. Griffin back upstairs to Holbrook. Now far side, Cooper to dump down. Shaughnessy, and foul out on court.
Looks like the foul's on Renata Springer, and as you can see, the dump inside right there, and you have Michelle Shaughnessy as she went to get the ball on the run and looking to turn that corner a little bit. And Renata just a little late in getting there, and if you can get your hand in the passing lane or get on a shoulder and not allow that pass to get inside, and you know, certainly one other avenue is you can have a little bit more pressure on the ball, and but at the same time, the post players, they need to get on the shoulder and look to deny that pass. Or, you know, the third option is you have the double down and from the other perimeter player or the help side defense, and not allowing those post players to really have a whole lot of room to work.
Shaughnessy, yes, makes one of two. And it's a 10-point ball game with just a hair under a minute left to play in this first half. Wright State looking to break what amounts to be a bit of a token press, and easily broken. Jelinek on over for Mann. Near side, upstairs. Shanda Hollingsworth, the give and go. Reggen Stewart, yes, and count it. Reggen Stewart with a show of athleticism takes it to the hole, and she'll good to the line for an old-fashioned three.
You can see Reggen Stewart, nice back door there, but what you couldn't see on the replay, she cut up very hard, going hard, coming up the lane, doing a nice job, and then just going right back door. Really set her player up, and that's one of the things when you're looking to deny the ball and you're looking to deny hard, not allowing the ball reversal, you have to be aware that there's going to be a backdoor cut.
She completes the three-point play, 14 points for her, 30-17. Wright State by 13. Kickbush, no good. Missed everything, and the loose ball went to Reggen Stewart.
Credit Renata Springer for that. Did not allow Amy Kickbush to turn over that left shoulder.
Reggen the pull-up, yes. 16 points for Reggen Stewart, 32-17.
Reggen Stewart really finding her rhythm tonight. She's doing an outstanding job. Really, her form, her technique is very good, very patient on her shot. She's sighting the target and doing a good job on her finish.
Kickbush, now the far side. Crook loses the handle on it. It's on the floor, still on the floor, and we will head the other way, or we should.
Shannon with an opportunity to get herself a steal and diving on the floor for the ball. And she landed on both knees trying to get a hold of that ball, and unfortunately she wasn't able to grab it.
Ball State still in possession. Crook on over, near side. Holbrook the three, knock it down. And that is the end of your half. Mandy Holbrook completes it with a 3, so your score at intermission is 32-20. Coming up at halftime at intermission, we'll be talking with Lenora Combs, the center, the starting center for Wright State. So with that, we'll head to intermission, and we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the Irvin J. Nutter Center. We're at intermission, and Wright State, of course, as you see on the scoreboard, lead by 12 here at the half, 32-20. With Toni Roesch, I'm Geoff Kim, wishing you a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, etc. As Wright State looking to get an early Christmas present out of this one. They've been down just a bit. They're 2-7 coming on in. They lost a real tough one to Louisville, 89-56 in their last game out, but to have them out to a double-digit lead here at intermission, Toni, that's got to be a good sign of things.
Well, you can tell Coach Fitch really has done a nice job of really looking to break things down, certainly offensively as well as defensively. They really have worked on the finer points of the game and really looking to instill that into the players. And, you know, certainly in the last outing that they had against Dayton, you're looking at a 2-7 record, and we had talked about it in that loss against Dayton. You know, where do you go from here? And certainly you just need to start breaking things down, and you can tell that Coach Fitch really is doing a nice job at doing that. They're being extremely patient. Their half-court offense, looking to take some high-percentage shots, shooting 48% from the floor for the first half, and certainly defensively within their matchup, doing an outstanding job of taking the passing lanes away from Ball State, and limiting Amy Kickbush to only 5 points when she's averaging 24 points a game, and certainly you have to be aware of her having a big second half, but Wright State really is doing a good job at controlling the tempo of the game, and that only comes from breaking things down in practice and really establishing exactly what you're looking for. And you certainly have to look at Reggen Stewart. Great cuts looking back door. Those are all set up. Great job by the coaching staff of scouting that, knowing that was going to be there.
As we look at the halftime stats, as far as the team stats are concerned, as you had mentioned, Toni, Wright State shooting 48% from the field, and that's not exactly an aberration, because in their outing against Stetson in the opening round of the Stetson Invitational, they shot 48% against the host team, and they came away winners in that one. And looking in some of the other numbers, of course, Wright State 2 of 7 from the three-point arc. Both of those, of course, coming from Shanda Hollingsworth. And 4 of 6 for 67% from the charity stripe. And, of course, that's even with Ball State. But in every regard, Wright State beating them in every category.
Yeah, they really are, and it's because they're controlling the tempo of the game and really looking to do a good job of establishing control, looking to alleviate some of the turnovers and some of the quick shots where they really would get out of their offensive flow and their timing, and they're doing a good job of setting the picks. A lot of movement within the offense. They're doing a nice job. Talking
about Reggen Stewart and her game-high 16 points, and of course that's half the 32 that the Wright State has put up so far. She's gotten that on baskets that have generally been from 7 feet and in, so really a good sign. I mean, if you can see the basket, basically you can get it into the hole. Oh,
very much so, but what Reggen's doing tonight, as opposed to what she had been doing, I believe she had a little difficult time against Dayton, putting up some good shots, good shot selection, couldn't get them to fall. And what happens sometimes is when you're pushing a little bit too hard, you're looking to take, make the penetration, and you might sight the target just a little bit later. You might have your eyes off the target a little bit. She's doing a nice job today of really keeping her concentration, really seems to be much more in control of her game, and she's able to finish on her shots. Not taking any different shots than what she normally takes, but, certainly in some of the previous games you'd have to look and certainly only feel for her in terms of the frustration that she might feel because, taking some good shots but not really able to finish. And, certainly you think that she might have the lid on the basket, but that's not the case tonight.
And speaking about Reggen Stewart, a couple of those baskets came on what I would like to call a read and recognition. It seems to be eye contact and really just good all-around teamwork for whoever's getting the entry pass along to her as she heads to the basket. Now, what I call that read and recognition is, initially, whenever you see that happen, you see her heading back towards the head of the key, and instead, then she'll start dashing to the basket. And I really have to say that's good overall teamwork on the part of the Raiders.
Well, and again, you have to credit the coaching staff, because that's one of the reads that they were looking at in terms of the scouting report. You know, when you get a lot of heavy denial and really a team that does not allow the ball reversal, and you get a team right in the passing lane really looking to deny the ball, you set your player up, and certainly offensively they have cleared that side out, so it's totally overloaded on the right side of the floor. Reggen over there all by herself, isolated, bringing her player hard, and really setting the player up and selling her move, cutting up hard and going right back door.
As we come up onto the start of the second half, quickly, what do you see as the key to this second half?
Well, they have to continue where they left off, and if they can maintain the tempo of the game, you know, certainly you have to look for Ball State to mix some things up, looking to pick up the pressure maybe a little bit more. And you have to be aware of Amy Kickbush looking to get into the offense a little bit more. But at the same time, if Wright State can be patient in their half-court offense, again, looking to take good shots and doing a good job on the boards, they should be okay the second half. And actually, I'm sorry, they're actually out-rebounding Ball State by, looks like 8, and doing a real good job.
The inbound will go from Jess Vandergeest right in front of our broadcast location to start things off here in this second half. (32-20) in favor of the Raiders as we head into the conference season starting on up. This is one of the last tune-ups. And a foul immediately.
Looks like they're having a little problem with the 30-second clock there. It didn't quite get started and had a little delay on the scores table over there. You know, the other factor that you need to look at coming into the second half is Jess Vandergeest has been a little bit quiet. She's only put up the ball 3 times and 4 points, but yet she's doing a good job on the boards. But certainly she's capable of doing a lot more, so you got to figure she's going to be kicking some things in here.
Well, as we await for this to kind of happen, well, we'll give you a little scoring breakdown for the Raiders. 6 points for Shanda Hongsworth, both coming on trays. 16 points for Reggen Stewart, 2 for Mandy Jelinek, 4 for Jess Vandergeest, and 2 apiece for Lenora Combs and Janine Andrews. And now we're back to action as we have things all squared away. Jelinek feeds for Reggen Stewart. Low block, puts it up. No good. And the rebound, Kickbush. It's on the floor, but Kickbush comes away with it.
Well, Kickbush with a little bit of size and certainly a little bit bigger than Jess Vandergeest. Jess had the inside position, but wasn't able to come down with the board.
Kickbush comes up with the loose ball, and now leading the charge up on top, Mandy Holbrook.
Wright State and their man, and they're going to look to mix some things up, it looks like, in the second half.
Holbrook just beats the 30. It's out of bounds. Wright State will take over possession.
Well, that was a good call by the official, and certainly Reggen Stewart doing a good job of boxing out Marquita Griffin.
Speaking of tonight's officials, they are Dave Stewart, Mary Struckhoff, and Tim Carr, and they have done a fine job tonight. And no, I'm not just kissing up either.
Yeah, you got that 20 stuck in your pocket before the game.
Entry pass, and it's taken away by Kickbush. They were looking for Lenora Combs. Here's Holbrook. Pulls up, looking for Kickbush. Double team, the kick out. Nicole Pilkington, now over far side. Marquita Griffin back up on high for Holbrook. Griffin thinking about the 3. Now over for Crook. Crook finds Holbrook, and a hand check on the way to the basket.
Well, Ball State being a little patient, their half-court offense and looking to get some screens set, and certainly swung over there to Mandy Holbrook. Mandy with a little head fake and putting the ball on the floor. And Mandy just with that little hand check there, she had her hands off. She had great position defensively.
And as you saw on the replay, literally just a hand check. First team foul of this half, and a shot attempt for 3. Knock it down. Marquita Griffin makes it a single-digit ball game. It's now 32-23.
Well, you have to be careful with Marquita because she's shooting 38% from the 3-point line.
Going for Reggen Stewart, low block, double team, puts it up, no good. Mandy Jelinek comes up with it, and now the kickoff. Here's Combs for three, it's short. And the rebound to Wright State, and out of bounds it goes.
Well, Reggen doing a good job of coming down with the rebound, but unfortunately she kind of got tripped up on her way down and tried to get the ball off, I think, into Jess, but just a little too hard on the pass.
Holbrook coming to the far side, dumped down, and here taken away by Wright State. Kickbush really did not have a good look at the basket that time.
We have to credit Jess Vandergeest for that one. Again, not letting Amy turn over her left shoulder and forcing her to go to that right shoulder. And she doesn't quite like that right shoulder too much.
Foul away from the ball. And a timeout. Charge to Wright State.
Wright State taking a 20-second timeout. And, you know, offensively, they've taken a couple quick shots, being a little impatient, and they don't need to force anything. They can look to work the clock just like they did in the first half. And, you know, certainly sometimes you have a tendency to get a little too anxious, but, you know, you certainly don't want to give anything away. Don't get out of your rhythm, maintain the control.
The only scoring so far this half, Marquita Griffin and her tray to make it 32-23, a 9-point lead for Wright State.
Sometimes looking to rush things a little bit, it has a little bit to do with the youth and a little bit of a maturity level. And Wright State has a young team.
Griffin loses it out of bounds, and Wright State will take on over.
But you certainly have to credit the Wright State team. They're really doing a good job of playing hard and really looking to improve on some of the things that they've been doing, and doing an outstanding job of working on the fundamentals.
Amanda Hollingsworth up high. Now for Jelinek behind the arc. Reggen Stewart, the give off, and another hand check.
Got to keep your hands off, and it's out of habit more than anything else. So just kind of putting that hand on there, just, you know, a little security measure, and not this year. It's hands off.
Copeland guilty of the foul. She will come out of the ball game, her second, and coming back in her place, Kelly Cooper.
Well, with that hand checking call, the players have to adjust to it, and they can't. Otherwise, they're going to be fouled out of the game.
Vandergeest over for Lenore Combs, looking to drive in the lane. Hook shot, yes.
Well, Lenore doing a good job. You know, doing a good job with that left hand coming in with left-handed hook, and really doing a good job of turning the corner.
They look for Kickbush underneath. It's out of bounds. Michelle Shaughnessy will come back into this ball game for Ball State.
Lenore uses both hands extremely well, and you would be hard-pressed to find out if she's left-handed or right-handed. She does a good job shooting with both.
Holbrook up high. In between rings. Now the feet underneath. Shot put up and no good, but a foul coming on up on the shot.
Well, Ball State adjusting offensively and having another cutter coming over into the middle of the key and looking to attack the middle and low post. As you can see, the feed right inside by Kelly Cooper, and right there you had a cut across the middle of the key by Michelle Shaughnessy, and you also had Amy Kickbush right on that low block.
The reach-in foul against Lenora Combs, her second, team second. First one on the free throw attempt, no good by Michelle Shaughnessy.
A little bit different set than in the first half. They were going with a little bit more of a triangle pop in the low post in the short corner, and now they're looking to really attack the strong side.
Jelinek splits the defenders, goes for Vandergeest in the lane. Scoop shot no good, but a foul on the way.
Well, Jess with a nice little hesitation coming down the court, hesitate a little bit, cut it back over. Nice little up and under move. You can see her, little hesitation there, nice little crossover, up and under. Did a nice job of drawing the foul.
Foul's on Cooper, her third, team second. And going to the line is Jess Vandergeest for a pair. First one is home. Jess shooting nearly 75% from the charity stripe on the season.
Well, she certainly has been pretty much the backbone of this team. She does a little bit of everything and doing an outstanding job offensively and defensively and on the boards as well.
Brick off the back. Holbrook comes up with it. Jess goes 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. Holbrook thought about the 3. Now goes back for Griffin. Back over for Holbrook. Double teamed. Looking for a pick. Gets back for Griffin. Penetration. Puts it up. No good. Too strong. And the rebound to Reggen Stewart. Taking it to the hoop. Moves the handle on it. Puts it back. No good. Gets her own mistake. Puts it up. No good. And the rebound to Kickbush.
Reggen not quite getting a good angle on that shot off of the glass.
Shot attempt for 3. Holbrook too strong. And the rebound, Shanda Hollingsworth. Vandergeest pops the 3. No, her foot on the line. Holbrook comes away with it. And a foul. They're going to get Shanda on this one.
Well, with Mandy Holbrook, it might be worth just kind of backing off just maybe another step because, you know, as you can see her, she's got her head, she's pushing the ball up the court, little hesitation right there, and Shanda just getting a little too close. And that's where you just may want to back off a little bit, just keep her on that side and not allowing her to cut back to the middle or going baseline. Just a little bit of containment.
Reggen Stewart will leave, and so will Mandy Jelinek. And we'll get this all straightened out after this timeout. So with 15:40 left to go in this ball game, the Raiders by 11, 35-24, and we'll be back in just a moment. 35-24 in favor of the Raiders with 15:40 left to play in this ball game. Reggen Stewart continuing to lead the way, 16 points, a game high. And now let's get the substitution package all settled here. The 5 on the floor should be Hollingsworth, Amber Williams, Jess Vandergeest, Lenora Combs, and Janine Andrews. Now that we've got that settled, we can get back to playing.
Reggen Stewart, she's doing a little bit of everything today. She's got 16 points. She's 6 for 11 from the floor, 4 for 5 from the line, and has 8 rebounds.
Looking for a double-double. This one goes out to Marquita Griffin. Over for Holbrook. Back for Griffin, thinking about the 3. Now the dump down. On the baseline, shot put up and home. Nice looking shot on the English, Michelle Shaughnessy. It's now 35-26.
Well, Michelle did an outstanding job of creating the lane, or excuse me, coming off the angle and looking to use that glass because she certainly didn't have a whole lot to look at.
Going back far side, Jess Vandergeest now up high for Shanda Hollingsworth. Amber Williams gets a touch. Now for Lenora Combs, looking to penetrate, the dish out. Shanda Hollingsworth, 3 attempt, no good.
Ball State coming back, looking to pick up the intensity a little bit and the pace of the game, and certainly you got Marquita Griffin right there pulling up for a 3-pointer, and you know certainly have to be aware of Ball State coming back. You know, they're looking to pick up full court right now, going man.
Lady Cardinals looking to make this interesting. It's now a 6-point lead for Wright State. Hollingsworth now for Combs, looking baseline, drives, pulls it up and home.
Good decision by Lenora pulling up there for a jumper, but she did have the lane to the basket, doing a good job going with that left hand and putting the ball down and pulling up for a jumper.
6 points for the transfer out of Cincinnati State. 8-point lead for Wright State. They keep it on the far side. Marquita Griffin now for Kickbush. Double team, the kick out for Griffin. Shot for 3 again. This time it's an air ball. Combs comes up with a loose ball and now goes for Shanda Hollingsworth.
Lenore with a good box out on that backside.
Williams down underneath and it's taken away. Holbrook comes up with it. And Holbrook guilty of steps.
Well, that's a good break for Wright State, and you know they can eliminate, look to alleviate some of those quick turnovers, and you know look to take some of the time off the clock, and really work the offense just like they did in the first half. They're going to be much better.
Combs and Shanda Hollingsworth out. Reggen Stewart back in, pops from 16, and that's home.
Reggen doing a nice job coming off the double screen by Jess Vandergeest and Janine Andrews, and she came off that screen. She knew she was going to shoot it.
Also, Mandy Jelinek back into this ball game. Raiders by 10, 39-29, 13:38 left to play in this ball game. Holbrook, Marquita Griffin, baseline. Oh, to the hoop and strong and in.
Well, Marquita Griffin with a nice little head fake, and she has such a quick first step, doing a good job of really looking to ball fake and then turn the corner.
Griffin gets into double figures, 10 points for her. 39-31. Jelinek up high. Amber Williams out on the far side, back for Reggen Stewart. They dump down low. Janine Andrews, high off glass, no good. And the loose ball goes to Marquita Griffin.
Janine Andrews really doing a good job of hanging on to the ball. That was a tough pass.
Foul on the way to the hoop. And boy, Marquita Griffin really showing some outstanding speed to the going for on the offense.
Well, she's looking to pick up the intensity a little bit and looking to speed things up. And, you know, as you can see, she's coming down the floor here and nice little hesitation, nice little stutter step there and going. And, you know, Mandy just needs to back off and cut off that angle a little bit. And, you know, right idea looking to take the basket away. But if you can take one more step down and drop step and then look to cut that angle off, because then you are able to maintain the distance and not getting closer and drawing the foul.
Peter will miss the first. Shooting 61% from the charity stripe this year. Vandergeest will leave. Lenora Combs comes back on in. Also coming into this ball game for Ball State, Pilkington and Copeland. In fact, we'll set the 5 up on the floor for you. Pilkington, Copeland, Holbrook, Griffin, and Kickbush. Second of 2 attempt, and that one is home. So 1 of 2 for Griffin, 11 points for her.
Well, the other thing to keep in mind is that Marquita Griffin gets a lot of her points off of the penetration. She's not a real big shooter from the outside. She certainly is capable of scoring, but at the same time, she'd much prefer to put her head down and make the penetration.
The inbounds was out on Amber Williams, so Ball State will regain possession, down by 7.
Well, this is what Wright State has to be aware of. You got Ball State picking up full court. They have to continue to move to the ball. You can't stop and wait on it. You got to move to the ball.
Griffin, double teamed, picks up her dribble, now goes back for Holbrook. Bounce pass for Griffin, baseline move, no good, but a foul.
This is where Wright State, they're looking at coming out a little too hard. As you can see, Lenore coming out just a little too hard and not closing out as she's coming out to contest Marquita Griffin. And Marquita, she's going to score points, and she hadn't really been shooting effectively from the outside, so certainly she's going to look to take the ball to the hole.
Janine Andrews, her 3rd personal of the night, and the first one made by Griffin. Shanda Hollingsworth, Jess Vandergeest come back on in. Janine Andrews and Amber Williams check out.
Well, Griffin's sitting at 4 for 13 from the floor, and you know she's 2 for 6 from the three-point line, and so it hasn't been overly effective from the outside. So that's where you don't really need to run out of her. In the first half, she wasn't scoring too much. Wright State was giving Ball State only 1 opportunity at the bucket, and that's what they have to continue to do.
Pressure. Vandergeest on the floor, now gives it up for Jelinek and will break the pressure. Raiders up 5. Jelinek over for Hollingsworth on the far side. Now back upstairs. Now offensive foul against Wright State. We will head the other way.
Looks like the foul is on Lenora Combs, looking to set an illegal screen, and they were looking to get the double down and double pick on that backside.
3rd team foul. Or rather, 3rd personal, against Lenora Combs. Griffin on the far side, guarded by Jelinek, back over for Holbrook. Now the dish out. Coming this way, Copeland pulls it up, no good, and Lenora Combs the rebound.
Reggen Stewart with a good contest, and Lenora with a nice box out.
Shanda Hollingsworth 3, it skips off the side of the rim. This one out of bounds, and Wright State will retain possession. Actually, they will get back possession. Copeland went after it and went out of bounds.
Well, it almost actually went into Wright State's favor because you had Lenora and Janine standing right there in the middle of the key, and you had Shannon Copeland looking to save the ball. You never want to save the ball under the opponent's basket.
Mandy Jelinek will inbound. She'll trigger for Reggen Stewart. Now gives back for Jelinek, and we will head the other way, an offensive foul.
Reggen with a nice little look with Mandy Jelinek coming in from the inbounds, and unfortunately Mandy wasn't quite inside the lane there.
Timeout on the floor, 11:59 left to play in this ball game. Raiders 39, Cardinals 34, and we'll be back in just a moment. What was was once a double-digit lead has now been turned down to a 5-point lead as Wright State continues to lead this one, albeit by a 39-34 score. For Toni, Roesch, I'm Geoff Kim, and we're pleased to have you along this evening on Media One. And of course, 18 points, still the game high for Reggen Stewart.
Well, Reggen certainly has been a little bit of everywhere on the floor and is still coming down with the 8 rebounds. And, certainly Wright State has to, continue to look to maintain the tempo here, but you got to credit Ball State because Ball State's looking to pick up the intensity a little bit and certainly being led by Marquita Griffin and doing a good job of looking to make some penetration, looking to make some things happen.
This one on the floor, but Holbrook recovers for Ball State. Griffin on the near wing. Cross-court pass, they go for Copeland. Baseline, double team, puts it up behind the glass. Well, that's not something you see every day.
Well, you got to credit Wright State for that because they did a good job between Reggen and Jess Vandergeest really closing in on her, not allowing her to get the shot off, and she did everything she could to put the ball up.
The inbound triggered to Shanda Hollingsworth, pushing it up and breaking the pressure. Going for Reggen Stewart out on the baseline.
Good decision by Reggen, pulling the ball back out.
Going far side with Jess Vandergeest. Now back up on high, Mandy Jelinek. On the floor. Puts it up and no good, but a foul.
That's a good possession by Wright State. They're doing a good job of it. They pushed the ball up the court. Ball State did a good job getting back in the transition defense. Reggen, good decision, bringing it back out on top. And as you can see right there, Mandy doing a good job putting her head down, looking to split the defense and protecting the ball with her body.
Jelinek gets the first.
But at the same time, Wright State's being a little patient in their half-court offense, and that's good, taking some time off the clock, looking to milk the 30-second clock instead of taking some quick shots. When you take some quick shots and you're only getting one opportunity at it, you're not really helping yourself.
Janine Andrews picks up the loose ball on the miss on the second free throw attempt, so Wright State gets it back. Jelinek on over for Shanda Hollingsworth. Goes high-low for Janine Andrews, triple teamed and taken away by Kickbush. And a foul, a traveling violation rather, on Copeland.
That was a nice look inside, a nice little feed. Janine did a good job of getting her hands on the ball, but certainly have to credit Marquita Griffin. She came very quickly from the elbow down to that help side defense, able to get her hand on the ball.
40-34, with 11:04 left to play in this ball game. Raiders with the ball, and the trigger goes to Mandy Jelinek. Reggen Stewart pulls up, yes. 20 for her, and it's 42-34.
Great pass by Mandy Jelinek, doing a good job of just threading the needle there, and Reggen doing a good job of nice little drop step power move to the basket.
Marquita Griffin, far wing. Dump down, kick Bush, double team, puts it up, no good, but looks like Janine Andrews got a little piece of her before putting that up.
Looks like she might have gotten her with the body a little bit, but Janine doing an outstanding job playing position defense and not allowing Amy to get her body turned right there. Outstanding job by Janine coming over, not letting her turn on that shoulder and having to come back. Doing a good job.
4 fouls personal-wise for Janine Andrews, and this one a brick off the back for Amy Kickbush, shooting 82% from the charity stripe. Lenora Combs checks in as Andrews will check out. Kickbush not exactly having one of her better nights. 5 points for her so far, averaging 24 per ball game, and she gets the second of 2.
Well, she's only put the ball up 7 times, and you've got to give credit to Wright State's defense. They're really keeping her out of the offensive flow.
Jelinek, the kick out. Shanda Hollingsworth, Jess Vandergeest, far wing. Going back for Shanda Hollingsworth, now on top for Reggen Stewart. Stewart, Shanda Hollingsworth, a long 3, and she'll knock it down.
Wright State working that offense very well, doing a good job. Again, taking the time off the clock and certainly looking at all their options that they have. Shanda doing a nice job pulling up for a 3-pointer.
A 10-point lead for Wright State, 45-35 as we come up on 10 minutes left to play in this ball game. Going for Pilkington and deny. Vandergeest comes up with it.
Jess Vandergeest getting herself a nice little block there.
Underneath, Reggen Stewart goes glass home.
Mandy Jelinek seeing both sides of the floor. Reggen Stewart filling her lane on that left side. Great job, nice pass by Mandy Jelinek.
Timeout on the floor. Not exactly sure what's going on.
I'm really impressed with Mandy Jelinek. She's a nice little point guard, and she's only going to get better. She's a sophomore, and she's a feisty little player. She sees the court extremely well, does a good job of leading her team, and certainly you can tell she wants to learn and listens to Coach Fitch, and she's going to have a good career ahead of her.
And we have a timeout on the floor with 9:42 left to play in this ball game. Ball State calling the timeout. We'll keep things right here. 12-point lead for Wright State. And the lead just about a minute ago was just down to 5. And all of a sudden, Wright State putting up a 3, getting some quick baskets, now back up to double digits. And once again, they're living up to the pressure, and that's a good sign here for the Raiders coming down into the conference season.
Well, they're doing an outstanding job, and the beginning of the the beginning of the second half, they were a little quick on some shots, putting up 20 seconds on the clock, 22 seconds on the clock, putting up some quick shots. What's happening now is they're working their offense, and they're looking at all their options, and they're taking what's some better shot selection. And the 3 by Shanda, there was if I'm not mistaken, about 9 seconds on the shot clock, but they had worked the offense, didn't quite get anything, kicked it right back out. Shanda was out there all by herself and able to knock it down. And if you're a little quick on the trigger and you're only getting one opportunity at the bucket, you're not helping yourself.
Wright State being led by Reggen Stewart, a season high by anyone from the Raiders, 22 points in this ball game. 9 of 14 shooting. She's 4 of 5 from the charity stripe. She has those 8 rebounds that we had talked about. She has been everywhere tonight so far, our star of the game. Looking to the other side, Marquita Griffin sparking Ball State here in the second half. 13 points for her. And even though she's not shot particularly well, 4 of 13 from the field, she has created some opportunities, and that's really allowed Ball State to come back into this ball game.
Well, that's where Wright State has to play her a little bit smarter. Just back off of her a little bit. You got to know that she's going to put the ball on the floor before she'll put up the shot. And in the first half, she wasn't quite effective. She put up a couple 3-pointers and she pulled up around 16, 17 feet, but she's much more effective on the penetration to the basket.
Kickbush knocked it out of bounds, so Wright State will get back on offense, up by 12. And this one will go to Lenore Combs. It's out of bounds, last touched by Marquita Griffin. So Wright State will retain possession and they'll inbound 3/4 court.
This is where they have to maintain their press offense, and you got Ball State coming very hard at them. They're matching up extremely well right now, and little diamond press, and Wright State doing a good job of maintaining the possession there.
Broke it fairly easily. Reggen Stewart up high, Lenore Combs. One dribble, and now comes this side from Mandy Jelinek. 3 on the shot clock, puts it up, and a foul. Boy, what timing.
Well, Mandy doing a good job, and 5 seconds on the shot clock. She knew she had to put it up, and nice little head fake and coming up and underneath and drawing the foul on Marquita Griffin. She can see Mandy looking to set some things up, and she knew the clock was going down. About 3 seconds there on the shot clock and coming back and going up and drawing the foul.
Mandy will not get the first. Foul went to Mandy Holbrook, her third. Jelinek at the charity stripe, 1 of 3, now make it 2 of 4.
I guess that foul was on Mandy Holbrook. I thought it was on Marquita, the way she walked away. A little bit of guilt on her face.
Brooke with the ball up high for Holbrook. Going far side for Griffin. In the lane, has it stripped away, but Crook comes away with it.
Good defensive adjustment by Wright State on Marquita Griffin, backing off just a little bit.
Pick and roll, goes near side, Crook puts it in motion, puts it up with 3 on the shot clock, no good. Gets her own rebound, now back up on high for Holbrook and a fresh 30. Griffin set up on the far wing, goes for kickbush, double team, triple teamed, and the kick out back for Holbrook. Going for Crook, penetration in the lane, scoop shot, no good. And the fight for it goes down to Tucker for Ball State. Going for Holbrook, wild shot, and Vandergeest comes down with it.
Those are tough possessions. Defensively, Wright State doing a good job of really looking to take a lot of things away from Ball State, not allowing Amy Kickbush to get the shot off. Amy has to kick it back out, and you know, as you can see right there, Manny Holbrook looking to split the defense and a little bit out of control, and Lenore doing a good job coming over with the help side defense there. But, you know, certainly that's 3 opportunities and almost full 30 seconds that Ball State had to work the offense. That's a lot of defensive effort that Wright State had to play in that series.
Wright State gets the ball after Letitia Tucker commits her second foul on the knockdown of Jess Vandergeest, who has the ball. Gives it up Amber Williams now and Shanda Hollingsworth. Reggen Stewart out there, out on the far wing behind the arc, going for Amber Williams. They go high-low, Jess Vandergeest, and she's fouled by Tucker. Oh boy, she got hammered pretty good too.
Well, Jess just taking over where Reggen was and doing a nice job, you can see. And Jess had a fake. She went up extremely hard, set her player up, and Letitia Tucker going for that fake. And, you know, certainly it was her time this time around. It had been Reggen Stewart in the first half.
First one is home.
But that's one of those as a player, you have to know what the team's doing and offensively, and not allow yourself to go for that. You got to know that they're going to set them up, and you can't continue to get beat the same way. You have to make the adjustments.
Tucker out. Michelle Shaughnessy back in for Ball State. Vandergeest, yes, and now she has 7 points, and the Raiders lead at 50-35. The feed underneath. They will look for kick push. It's out of bounds, and Wright State will take possession.
Jess Vandergeest with good defensive pressure and not allowing that pass to go inside. It was a little miscue there by Ball State in a feed inside to Amy. And Amy kick push. They're trying to get her the ball, but you got to credit that one to Jess Vandergeest. Great pressure on the ball.
Amber Williams, Reggen Stewart, far wing. Back up on high, Lenore Combs, double teamed. Still looking, puts it on the floor, pulls it up, no good. A volleyball match on the floor, loose ball, and coming up with it is kick push.
Well, Reggen doing her best to try and keep that ball alive.
Holbrook, the kick out for kick push. Now back for Holbrook. One bounce pass underneath. Shaughnessy in traffic, and she was fouled on the way to the hoop.
Just really looking to make the right move coming over. She was just a tad late getting there for that help side. Lenore doing a good job playing, trying to get on his shoulder there, looking to take that pass away. Just coming over right there, just a tad late getting there. You know, she was looking to take that shoulder away. I know Jess felt that one, but really looking for that double there. And post players are doing a good job on Ball State's post players.
Shot put up by Shaughnessy. That's home. Janine Andrews will come on in for Lenore Combs.
Janine Andrews really has been doing a nice job inside in position defense and certainly on the boards, doing an outstanding job of getting in a position there.
Kick push, rebound, stick back is home. Amy kick push. Boy, nice looking reverse J on for her, and it's now 50-38.
Well, unfortunately, just as we had talked about positioning, Janine just happened to miss her box out there a little bit, and it's unfortunate because it's not indicative of how she had been playing the whole game. She's really been doing a nice job.
And checking foul goes against Marquita Griffin, her second. So we have a timeout on the floor, charge to Wright State. And with that, why don't we take a timeout too? So with 6:57 left to play in this ball game, Raiders by 12. We'll be back in just a moment. Raiders continue to lead by double digits, 50-38, and they've done most of what they've needed to do right, especially in the way of shooting from the field, shooting 44% on the night.
Yeah, they really are doing a good job of being patient. Their half-court offense, especially from about the 10-minute mark on, and you know, the past maybe a little bit more than that, about the past 5 minutes or so, when it really got to be about a 5-point game, and really buckling down to what was working for them in the first half, and taking care of the ball and looking to work the 30-second clock and really taking some good percentage shots. And also they're going to the line, and Jess Vandergeest is able to put a few more points on the board, and you know, she's up to 7 points right now. She's 3 for 4 from the line, and you know, certainly she does a little bit of everything on the floor.
1-1, and she'll get the bonus try. Just the junior leading the team in rebounds at 7 a game.
She really gives this team some very good leadership. She's very solid, very consistent player.
Gets them both, 52-38. Holbrook, one bounce pass to Kickbush, the kick out. Holbrook, three, and it's long. And the rebound goes to Reggen Stewart, her 9th of the night.
Reggen with the backside rebound there and good positioning on that backside.
Vandergeest back up on high. Shanda Hollingsworth. Jelinek on over for Stewart. They go high-low. Janine Andrews puts it up and no good. Everything but the basket.
Well, that was a good feed by Reggen into Janine Andrews. And Janine just wasn't able to really get her body turned, get her shoulders squared, and unfortunately the ball didn't fall, but it was a good opportunity.
Marquita Griffin thinks about the three, now goes underneath for Kickbush. One bounce pass back out for Griffin. Crook, head of the key. Back for Griffin, open three, and it's a little short, and the rebound, Janine Andrews.
You know, she's capable of scoring from there, but at the same time, if you can eliminate her driving to the basket or looking to create some things, the better off you're going to be.
Janine, or rather Jess Vandergeest out on the far side, back up high. And the ball gets around to Shanda Hollingsworth. Now back to Mandy Jelinek. And this one taken away by Holbrook. 2-on-1 break. Bounce pass. Marquita Griffin goes strong and in.
It was a nice 2-on-1 break by Ball State, doing a good job between Mandy Holbrook and certainly Marquita Griffin getting down and filling her lane. But unfortunately, from Wright State's standpoint, down on that offensive end, Mandy got a little too deep on the penetration and wasn't able to deliver the pass. And certainly Mandy Holbrook doing a good job getting in the passing lane and getting the steal.
Timeout charge to Ball State. It's a 20. We'll keep things right here. Wright State looking pretty good in this ball game. They've pretty much taken care of business from the outset. They had that, they were struggling, and it appeared to be at the midway point here in the second half, and then they went on a dandy little 7-0 run and have kept the lead at double digits.
Well, they did, and they've gotten back to what was working for them in the first half, and that was really maintaining and control of the tempo of the floor and taking some good shots and certainly just really controlling the tone of the game and not allowing Ball State to look to speed things up and allow them to get back into the game. Wright State has made some good adjustments.
Stewart goes underneath. Janine Andrews, double team, puts it up, and she was hacked on the way up.
Well, Janine with a nice little head fake there, looking to turn over her right shoulder and drawing the foul by Michelle Shaughnessy. And, you know, certainly Michelle didn't think that she got her, but Janine right there turning over that right shoulder, little head fake there, going up, using her body, and sure enough, she did draw the foul. And, you know, of course, who thinks they do foul?
No kidding. Shaughnessy guilty of the foul, and the first free throw attempt missed by Janine Andrews, now 0 for 2. Reggen Stewart comes out of the ball game, and Lenora Combs takes her place. Janine makes her first free throw of the year, and it's now 53-40. We have 5:10 left to play in this ball game. Holbrook goes for Marquita Griffin. Being contested by Jess Vandergeest. Dumps for Kickbush. High post, pulls up, and no good. Off the side of the rim, Griffin comes down with the rebound. Holbrook back for Griffin. Thinks about the three, goes baseline. In traffic, it's on the floor and recovered by Ball State. Holbrook goes for Kickbush. Now the kick out to Crook. Out on the baseline. Holbrook looking to drive, the give out. Now the open three, Marquita Griffin, a little too short. Loose ball on the floor, and Ball State will retain possession out on Mandy Jelinek.
Those are tough possessions for Wright State because they are working extremely hard defensively and, you know, certainly doing what they want Ball State to do and taking some of those shots. They're just not able to come down with the rebound. And, you know, so when Ball State gets another opportunity, it's a whole nother 30 seconds that they have to play some defense.
Andrews exits as Reggen Stewart comes back on in. Boy, not much rest for her. Holbrook, one bounce pass inside for Kickbush. Puts it up. Low block, no good. And Jess Vandergeest comes down with the loose ball.
Well, Wright State doing a good job at making Kickbush doing a little step back as opposed to a power move to the basket.
Stewart, they go for Vandergeest, and this one intercepted by Shaughnessy.
Well, that's where you want to read the defense.
Griffin penetration and a foul on the way to the hoop.
Yeah, Reggen just a little quick on the pass there, not really seeing the help side defense there. And as you can see, Marquita Griffin coming down the court, a little hesitation there and looking to split the defense and drawing the foul on Mandy.
Mandy Jelinek The foul, her third, and the one-on-one opportunity coming up for Marquita Griffin. 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. Gets the first, will get the bonus try.
Marquita, she's a nice little player. She really looks to create a lot of things, and she has such a quick first step, and she'll turn the corner as soon as she has an opportunity.
Played her high school ball in Akron, and she makes only 1 of 2 as she missed the second one. 53-41 as we come up on 4 minutes left to play in this ball game. Stewart, Jelinek, still looking around with 13 on the shot clock. Wright State looking to milk things, gets a pick. Now the kick out, Shanda Hollingsworth, deep water 3, knock it down. Shanda Hollingsworth, all 4 of her trays have come. All 4 of her field goals, rather, are trays tonight. 12 points for her.
She was a little deep on that one, and a little bit of NBA range, I do believe.
I'll tell you, and this one will still belong to Ball State, knocked out by Jelinek.
Well,
Could you get out any further than that?
Well, yeah, I've seen a few people, but, you know, certainly the thing that really was effective that time is Wright State did an outstanding job taking the time off the clock, really working it. And, you know, you have one opportunity at the bucket, and, you know, right there, Shanda just canned the 3, and certainly that kind of takes the steam out of things for Ball State.
Direct entry pass, the kick push, no good, and the loose ball come up with by Jess Vandergeest.
Well, Lenora Combs not only contesting the shot by Amy Kickbush, but at the same time totally boxing her out, that there was nobody for Ball State even close to that ball.
Vandergeest looking around, goes for Carrie Bender just back into this ball game. This one intercepted, but knocked out of bounds by Marquita Griffin. And Wright State will retain possession. They'll have 8 on the shot clock.
Marquita Griffin doing a good job of shooting up in the passing lane, but Carrie needs to just kind of read that a little bit more, because, you know, you got Marquita just kind of sitting there. She's waiting on that pass.
The trigger goes to Shanda Hollingsworth. Back for Reggen Stewart, going, pulling up and in. 24 points for Reggen Stewart. It's 58-41.
Reggen really doing a nice job of looking to make a little hesitation and kind of using Lenora Combs on that pick a little bit.
Vandergeest to take away. Bender for 3. It's a little long. And the rebound to Kickbush. Quickly up ahead for Griffin. 2.5 to play in this ball game. Crook thought about the 3. Pulls up. Now passes over for Griffin. Underneath. Shaughnessy puts it up and home. Count it. Fouls on Vandergeest. And Shaughnessy will have an try for an old-fashioned 3.
Well, Marquita Griffin with the penetration. Nice little feed. Split the defense right there on that feed pass. And Michelle Shaughnessy doing a good job of coming to the ball and meeting it and going up strong. And certainly looking to get it a 3-point play here. But Marquita Griffin just really threaded the needle on that one.
Shaughnessy, 3 of 6 from the charity stripe. Make it 4 of 7, and the 3-point play completed. It's 58-44.
Ball State once again picking up in their diamond press, their little 1-2-1-1, and looking to try and get some steals here, but, you know, it's certainly time's not in their favor.
Vandergeest, Lenora Combs, nearly traveled, pulls up, high post, no good. And a foul. We will head the other way.
Well, I know Lenora's kind of shaking her head saying, my fault, and it's where you want to just bring the ball out. It's, you know, you can see the little head fake right there and pulling up for a shot, but that's just a time where you want to bring the ball out, milk that 30 seconds, take the time off the clock.
Reggen Stewart guilty of her first. Going to the line is Holbrook, shooting a couple.
You know, there's certainly a lot of time left in the game, 2:10, and, you know, anything can happen. You get a couple steals or you turn the ball over, a couple quick shots, and anything you can do to maintain possession and maintain control of the game, you want to, and you certainly don't want to give the opposing team any opportunity to get back in the game.
Letitia Tucker checks back on in for Shaughnessy, and this one out of bounds. Wright State will take possession. Last touched by Tucker. Pressure defense coming on up. And taken away by Marquita Griffin. The dish out the other way. Holbrook comes away with it. Griffin thought about the 3, looking baseline. Now the give up for Tucker. This one touched by Cooper, out of bounds, and Wright State will get the ball back.
Well, that's a nice break for Wright State. You know, certainly turning the ball over. I know Coach Fish isn't too happy, but they may look to change up the press break a little bit, or certainly talk about taking care of the basketball.
Timeout charge to Wright State. And with that, why don't we take a break right here with the $1:57 left to play in this ball game. Raiders by 13. We'll be back in just a moment. And a foul against Ball State. It'll be against Marquita Griffin as Wright State did a fine job breaking the pressure defense. $1:40 left to play in this one. Raiders by 13.
But Shannon really doing a good job of splitting the defense there and being able to draw the foul. But that's one of the things when you're getting trapped, you want to split through the defense, and because it's real difficult to pass around them, and sometimes that's the only thing you can do is split them.
Bonus try coming up.
But certainly from the defensive end, it's one of the things that you want to eliminate is don't allow the offense to split. You want to get that trap and really close them off.
Shanda gets them both.
Those are big free throws by Shanda.
14 points for Shanda Hollingsworth. It is 60-45. Marquita Griffin, and a whistle in the lane.
2 shots later, we got 2.
Marquita once again, as you can see, a little ball fake right there, putting her head down, looking to make the penetration. She's going to make some things happen. I got a lot of respect for this little guard. She's doing an outstanding job, and she's a senior and she's a competitor, and certainly she's going to look to make some things happen. And she's certainly not quitting, and it'd be an opportunity for her to just to kind of sit back and throw the ball around or look to shoot some three-pointers, and she hasn't been scoring real effectively from there, so she's looking to either create some things for her teammates or looking to get a couple quick points.
Gets them both. 18 points for Marquita Griffin. 60-47. Once again, pressure defense coming on up. And a line drive pass for Lenora Combs. Back over for Vandergeest. Start to break this press rather easily.
There, Lenora did a good job of pulling the ball out, looking to work the clock.
Vandergeest face up. Now looking to the basket. Goes for Jonick. Back up on high. Shanda Hollingsworth gets a pick. Head of the key. Now looking to come back the other way. And we will head the other way. An offensive foul against Wright State.
You got to be careful not to have too many of those turnovers, and certainly if it's not a shot, you had Jess Vandergeest with a 3-second call in there, and that's where you don't want to do that. And I know Coach Fitch is kind of shaking her head a little bit, but those are young mistakes, and that's okay. But they're really working well, and you can tell they're really making a conscious effort to do a lot of the right things.
Shot attempt for 3, and this one in and out. Off the side of the glass, and Lenora Combs comes down with it, and she is being fouled. She's been fouled pretty heavily there. Don the double team.
Well, right there you can see Kelly Cooper going up with the shot, Lenora coming down with the rebound, and right there it's not a bad foul. Ball State has to go for the ball. They have to get the clock stopped, and certainly it was a good job on Lenora's part of coming down with the ball, but at the same time, you want to chin the ball if you can, and then if you need to, kind of put the ball on the floor and spin the corner, or as what Lenora did, is made Ball State come after them, or come after her and drawing the foul.
Combs shooting 75% from the charity stripe on the year, 0 for 1 after that last miss. That one is home, 1 of 2. Lenora has 7 points. It's 61-47. We are under a minute left to play in this ball game. Wright State will come away with a win. They'll have a game on the road against Moorhead State coming on up to end this calendar year. That 3-attempt long, and Lenora Combs comes down with the rebound. The give off, Reggen Stewart. This one on the floor. Marquita Griffin comes up with it. Scoop shot in the lane and count it.
That's one of those where you want to get the ball to your point guard. You do a good job of, working real hard, and loose ball right there. Get the ball to your point guard.
Combs guilty of the foul. That was her 5th and final, and she'll foul out with 7 points.
Lenore Combs doing a good job on the boards as well. She's coming down with 8 rebounds, and really Wright State overall doing an outstanding job on the boards, coming down with 44, when actually they've been averaging about 36 rebounds, and you have Ball State who has 33 rebounds. Wright State doing an outstanding job on the glass.
Griffin puts it on home, and it's now 61-50. Under 30 seconds left to play. Shot clock should be turned off. And a foul Holbrook commits it against Mandy Jelinek. Or do we have a timeout? We do have a timeout.
Wright State ball.
Charge to Wright State as we keep things right here. 27 seconds left to go. Well, it looked like Holbrook got to her before the timeout, but what do I know? And as we mentioned before Marquita Griffin's last offensive display, the Raiders have one more game this calendar year. It's on the 29th against Morehead State. That's on the road. And then we'll come back home to start off the conference season. It'll be against Wisconsin Green Bay. That'll be a 7 o'clock start. And, of course, Toni and I will be here just ahead of tip-off to bring you all the play-by-play. Once again, 61-50 in favor of Wright State. Really, they've taken care of business from the outset, really never letting things get out of hand. Saw the lead reduced to 5, and were able to bring it back on up.
Well, you can really see the improvement that the team is making, and if you look back against certainly Miami, it comes to mind. They had a lead, and they allowed Miami to get back into the game, and certainly, you know, Wright State taking a few quick shots and allowing Miami to get back in it. And certainly you can tell Coach Fitch really has done an outstanding job of addressing the issue. You know, you've got a young team, so you have to work on being patient. And, you know, it's certainly, you know, when you come down the court and you want to take a quick shot, that's where you have to learn to use the clock and use all aspects of the game. And really, hats off to the coaching staff and the players, because you can tell that it's a concerted effort and it's an effort on all counts, and they're doing an outstanding job of really looking to execute.
Cooper to inbound, kick Bush, underneath the basket and home. 10 points for her. And another timeout.
Well, Ball State doing a good job with a quick inbound, getting a quick shot off, and, you know, certainly kick Bush posting up hard. And, you know, there's 24 seconds on the clock, and this is where Wright State has to get the ball in bounds. They have to make sure that they move to the ball, set some picks if they need to. You know, you've got Ball State who's been picking up out of their diamond press, so you have to be certainly expecting that. But at the same time, they may look to go man. They may look to throw something else at them and making Wright State have to adjust to it. But at the same time, you know, Wright State has to take care of the basketball. And you know, they might have an opportunity at a timeout if they need to, but if not, you know, certainly they can't afford a turnover at this point.
The lead is down to 9, 61-52. We have 24.1 seconds left to go in this ball game, and of course, I think really this game pretty well in hand for Wright State. However, these are situations where that'll make any coach really pretty testy, because you have to deal with fouls and free throws, and 24 seconds really can drag on out.
There's a lot of time on the clock, and, you know, there's been stranger things to happen, but, you know, certainly the biggest key is getting the ball inbounds, Wright State taking care of the ball, and certainly you have to expect Ball State coming at them with a very quick foul.
The inbound will come from Jess Vanderk East on the far baseline. Still looking around. And finds Carrie Bender, and she's fouled underneath by Cooper. 21.6 seconds left to go in this ball game. Bender will head to the line. Carrie has yet to attempt a free throw tonight, shooting 80% from the charity stripe.
Well, Ball State picking up full court that time and doing a good job at matching up, and, you know, certainly Wright State doing a good job getting the ball in bounds, and Carrie doing a good job of hanging on to the ball.
Coach Robin Markey trying to get some final assessments and awards to her Cardinal Ball Club. Wants to make sure that they're all on the same page.
Carrie Bender is at the line to throw.
Well, these are some big free throws for Carrie Bender. If she can just maintain her concentration, use her legs, have a good follow through. And then you have to look, it'll be interesting to see if Wright State's going to pick up full court, or if they'll look to pick them up maybe around half court or three-quarter court, just to look to slow them down a little bit.
Bender, 1 of 2. Rebound goes to Kick Bush. Holbrook quickly up the court. Inside the arc, Kick Bush back outside. Shot by Pilkington off the front of the rim. Pilkington comes down with it. Now the kick back out. Holbrook, 3, and it's short. And the rebound underneath by Copeland, and that's home.
Cardinal basket,
Well, that's an unfortunate foul by Reggen Stewart. You certainly don't want to stop the clock and give him another opportunity at the ball there. But, you know, right there you have Holbrook with the three-pointer, and you also have Shannon Copeland coming down with the rebound, and Reggen with the foul there. But, you know, certainly now you've got to get the ball back in bounds, and you don't want the clock to stop, even though it, or give him another opportunity to shoot, even though it does stop under a minute.
And that final attempt by Pilkington, no good, and this game is over. Final score here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center, 62-54. Wright State goes away a winner by 8 points. They move their record to 3-7. And with that, Tony and I will wrap things up when we come back from this timeout in just a moment. Final score here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center as the Raiders go away a winner. They beat the Ball State Lady Cardinals by a score of 62-54. The star in this ball game, clearly Reggen Stewart, 24 points and 10 boards. She had quite a night.
Oh, she certainly did. You could just tell she was a little more relaxed today and really keeping her concentration. She was really into the game. And, you know, sometimes when you have a tendency to press a little bit too much, you want to make some things happen. Sometimes it has a reverse effect where you're really a little short on your shot or you're not connecting on your shot, and you have to shake your head. And sometimes you have a tendency to push a little bit more. But certainly tonight she did an outstanding job. Just seemed to be really a little bit more relaxed, really into the flow of her game. And, of course, she always works hard. And you know, hats off to this team because they really do an outstanding job of never quitting and always playing very hard.
Shanda Hollingsworth in a follow-up effort, doing a nice job. 4 trays, 14 points for her. And if this sounds familiar to her, well, Wright State in their last meeting last year had won behind Shanda Hollingsworth. She had scored 21 in that game, including 5 trays. So she clearly likes this one from long distance.
Well, anytime you give her an opportunity to even somewhat get her shot off behind the three-point line, she's extremely dangerous. You know, she shoots 32% from the three-point line, and it certainly helps this team anytime she can. But you give her an opportunity, and she's going to take advantage of it.
Talking about the Ball State Lady Cardinals, Marquita Griffin did a fine job. 21 points for her. But however, Wright State did a fine job against the big scorer, Amy Kickbush. She came in averaging 24 a ball game. She only scored 10 tonight.
Have to credit Wright State's defense. Did an outstanding job in their matchup defense against Kickbush. And really, when they were in their man as well, they did a nice job of doubling in and not allowing her to get her shoulder turned. And because anytime she turns over that left shoulder, she's so effective. And Wright State doing an outstanding job of looking to take that away. But I'll tell you, Marquita Griffin, outstanding player, and I have a lot of respect for her as an athlete because she's extremely quick and certainly very much a competitor.
Once again, the final score here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center, Wright State a winner, 62-54. Our next air date will come up next year. It'll be on the 7th of January, 1999, as they started their conference schedule against Wisconsin Green Bay. Thanks go out to our crew and to our director, Joe Marler. So for Toni Roesch, I'm Geoff Kim, wishing you happy holidays and good night from Dayton.